country is being torn apart by civil war. We're told his remarks will focus on the situation inside Syria and in the region. Syrian TV says the speech will be, quote, historic in nature. And we're certainly hearing an enthusiastic crowd in this hall of the president's supporters. We'll listen in, and then we'll talk with our correspondent in the region.
السادة رئيس وأعضاء الحكومة السادة رؤساء وأعضاء قيادات المنظمات الشعبية
Prime Minister,
والنقابات
the government, the cabinet, the unions, brothers and sisters.
اليوم
Today,
انظروا إلى وجوهكم
I look at your faces and the faces of my countrymen
والألم
with sorrow and pain. I look at the eyes of the Syrian children, the innocent eyes that radiates hope in their faces. I watch the hands of the elderly who are calling for the peaceful return of their sons and daughters. Today we are meeting, and the conspiracy is spreading all over Syria and every corner of the Syrian homeland. And this conspiracy is spreading all over the streets of Syria. Today we are meeting while there are mothers who have lost their sons, and families have lost their breadwinners, and children who have been orphaned, and many have been martyred and left the country as a refugee. And despite all this pain that have left a dark cloud all over the country, is calling us to reunite, but this is not enough to compensate for the losing our loved ones or to provide bread, fuel all over the country. That despite this suffering, there is hope, and despite the suffering, there are solutions. The dark cloud that prevents the sunlights, despite that, these clouds brings rain and goodness to Syria. These feelings and emotions and pain and suffering and sadness, it is huge energy for us. And it will bring Syria out of its own suffering and bring national movement that saves Syria from the attacks against Syria that has never been witnessed before. This national movement and dialogue will lift Syria out of its own deep wounds and perhaps was close to tear Syria up, and will make Syria stronger politically and bring its society and culture and moral values together. And every citizen is responsible and will be able to provide something even as simple as limited as possible. The homeland is for all. Everyone is responsible to provide something as much as he can. The decision is defending the country, the position is defending the country, and helping the country is a decision should be made by everyone. Every citizen who is aware knows what's happening in Syria, that waiting for others to solve the problems will bring the country on the edge. Not participating in helping the country will take the country backward. Many have fallen in that trap that the conflict is between the government and the opposition, or between those who want government and those who want. And therefore, that it is our duty to redirect our vision toward saving the country. The conflict, ladies and gentlemen, is between the homeland and its enemies, between the people and the killers and the criminals, and between the country and its waters and its war myth and those who prevent that from happening to Syria. And the safety and security was in Syria, now is gone. Killing the civilians and the innocent people in Syria, they assassinated the talented people of Syria, the brains of Syria as well. They destroyed the civil infrastructure and the people's safety and security, and destroyed their own livelihood, and destroyed their schools, and destroyed the country's future. They cut off electricity and communication and fuels, and left the elderly and the children spending the winter in cold, in assuring their own savagery and their thievery in destroying the silos of the bread and the wheat. Therefore, this is a conflict between authority and power, or between the enemies of the homeland. This is a conflict, those who wanted to take revenge against the people, to fragment Syria. Those are the enemies of the people, and the enemies of God. And the enemies of God will go to hell. The people revolted against them, preventing them from taking refuge within the people, and while they were smuggling money and weapons in secret. And when they failed, they entered in the second stage. They left their peaceful demonstrations and showed weapons that they smuggled to kill the people of Syria. They started their attempts to occupy cities through which they tried to attack other cities. And they were savage, and every time they were hitting the people showed them steadfastness against them. And they have decided to take revenge against the people by spreading terrorism. They are calling it a revolution, but it is not a revolution. Revolutions needs intellectuals. Where are their intellectuals? Is there any thinkers for this revolution? Revolutions need leaders. Who is the leaders of this revolution? Revolutions are built for the future and going forward, and to spread lightness and to spread light on the people. Revolution are for the people, but this revolution is imported against the people and not for the interest of the people. Is this a revolution? Are these revolutionaries? After all this, there were all these Salafists, the terrorist groups, who were committing mass violence and mass killing of the people. And those who are supporting it were behind it all the way. While the Syrian people are holding hands together in steadfastness, preventing Syria from collapsing. These Salafists and the extremists went on to fight within the cities, spreading killing and terrorism. And the extremist thinking is an intrusion in Syria, in Syrian thinking and within the Syrian people. Terrorists and extremists carrying the thinking of Al-Qaeda, the ideology of Al-Qaeda, They are saying terrorists, and they are committing terrorism on the ground. And while other people are going in the back lines to help them and give them aid, and spreading people within Syria to act as spies for those extremists and those terrorists by killing and cutting the limbs of the people. Brothers and sisters, we are fighting them. And many of those fighters and Salafists and extremists are not Syrian citizens. While they are fighting, they call themselves jihadists, and they are not jihadists. They are far from it. For sure, that for those who are facing them are terrorists, and those who are following the ideology of Al-Qaeda, and those are remnants of those who fought in Afghanistan 3 decades ago after the dismemberment of the Soviet Union. All these jihadist groups and all these terrorists spread all over the Arab world and the Muslim world. They tried to get rid of these jihadist and Salafist groups in Afghanistan and Iraq, but they could not. But terrorism starts spreading in the heart of the European and the Western societies itself. These events started in the Arab world, and especially in Syria, was a golden opportunity by them to bring all these terrorists, to bring them into Syria, to transform Syria as the land of jihad. And therefore, they decided to kill one bird in one stone, and 2 birds in one stone, by getting rid of Syria and the jihadists at the same time. An organization, international organization, have issued a report that many terrorist organizations decreased in other countries, and they all came to Syria. Any terrorists who come to any society, especially in Syria, it is known, but it is not impossible to defeat them with the steadfastness and determination and resolve. But the most dangerous thing is their ideology. But this thinking type of ideology, when it is spread in the societies and within the families, it becomes very dangerous. If it's not been dealt with very seriously, it becomes very dangerous to the country. And we should rise above our differences in order to defeat this ideology. Otherwise, we are having our children and the grandchildren to deal with this, and it will be unfair to them. At least that Syria, as a society, we know it should continue to be the way it is today. But we should also prevent them from destroying the Syria we know it today as a political entity and as a geographical entity as well. And therefore we should be united to deal with this threat against Syria. But for this attack, it has other dimensions, not only internally, but it is clear that for those who want to wish harm against Syria, regionally there are those who want to divide Syria. Some of those who are helping the criminals with money and weapons, and others with political. Any force, any country that was built on occupation, and those countries who are trying to oppress Syria and control it, and some countries did not have its own history, but wrote its own history with the blood of the Arabs and the blood of the Syrian people as well.